Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, January 27th, 2020. We are again in the final hour of the trading day. As I mention each day, I prefer to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions right at the end of the day, right before the close. The reason I say this is because during the day you have the market makers, you have the day traders, you have the algorithms battling it out. I just considered a lot of noise. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in with size, with knowledge, with technology, and they do take the prices away from the day traders and the algorithms during the middle of the day and then take control of it at the end of the day and move it. They're the smartest, they're the best equipped. Like I said, they have the most information, they trade with the most size, and I like to base my buying and selling decisions off of what they're doing at the end of the day. So that's why I'm primarily an end of day trader. So anyway, thank you all for coming by. I appreciate it. It's nice to see everyone. I always look forward to seeing you here during the last hour of the day. Well, we are having quite a day, of course. Over the weekend, the coronavirus, the news came out and it looks like it was increasing. It was being transmitted to different countries, and the market definitely has reacted to that to the downside. Currently, Dow Jones is down 404 points, about 1.39%. The NASDAQ is down 158 points, down 1.7%, and the S&P is down 46, down 1.4. So pretty volatile day. We're definitely having volatility coming into the market. So we're going to have to be careful out there, right? So let's take a look here. Hey, Evan is here. Good to see you, buddy. Good afternoon, Evan. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Hi, Marco. How are you, sir? Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good evening in Sylvania. Mount Doji, hey, my friend. How you doing? Hope you had a nice weekend, buddy. Good to see you. And Grant, hi. Hey, how's it going, Grant? Good to see you as well. Thanks for coming by. All right, well, kind of a busy day today. Definitely have some things happening, so we'll get right to it. Just want to give you the breakdown of the format for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Second, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and more importantly, how I'm going to manage them going forward. After that, we're going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. I know I harp on you and hit everybody over the head every day with this, but trader psychology, in my opinion, is the most important skill you can develop in trading. It's important to learn the technicals, support, entries, exits. That's all important. You need that information to help you build up a trading plan. But after that, then it comes down to you and your psychology and your discipline. Can you follow your plan? And if you can't follow your plan, you're going to have a really tough go at it in this. So, you have to learn the technicals, you have to learn all the supports, resistance, but then you have to learn how to become disciplined and follow your plan, whatever that takes, whether that's reducing position size, whether that's finding yourself a risk manager to look over your shoulder, make sure you're taking your trades and doing what you're supposed to. I don't care what you do, but you have to be able to find something to be able to just follow your plan. So we're going to spend a few minutes on trader psychology. Then we're going to go through my watch list. We're going to take a look at each stock one by one. We're going to look at things like support, resistance, different indicators like MACD, RSI, moving averages, ATR channels, and my opinion of trading, my philosophy of trading is that I view all these indicators as a potential group of buyers. And if you want to put yourself in the best position to increase your odds to have a winning trade, you have to be in with as many other buyers as possible. So therefore, I like to look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up. Or another way to say that, I like to look for a combination of different groups of buyers lining up, and it will dramatically increase, looking for those combinations with that to dramatically increase your probability of having a profitable trade. So that's requirement number one. Look for a confluence or combination of indicators. Number two, make sure you have a good risk to reward ratio. You can have a really great setup, but it may be extended based upon your parameters. I use RSI, ATR channels, things like that as far as what tells me if something is overextended or overbought or oversold. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to risk $100, I can make at least $200 based upon the legitimate resistance above me and legitimate support below me. And then number 3, make sure that you do not have too many correlated positions. I don't want to have 4 or 5 tech stocks and that's it. I want to have a nice combination of tech stocks, healthcare stocks, maybe some bonds, maybe some gold, just make sure you're not too highly correlated. You don't have all your eggs in one basket when it comes to one kind of industry. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go down through, and if I can find a stock in my watch list at the end of the day that fits all those requirements, I'll go ahead and place the order at the end of the day. Then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. Happy to answer them for you. Happy to clarify them for you. If you see a symbol today that you think would be helpful for the group that you would like my opinion on before the market closes, please let me know. Put it in the chat. Maybe put a star by it so I can do my very best to get to it before the market closes. So, all right. Well, that is the plan for today. Sound good? So hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thanks, everyone.
This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, Brian, 512 is here. Good to see you, Brian. Brian says, long time no see, everyone. Good to have you back, Brian. How are things going? Did you get your account set up? I know last time we spoke, Brian's a young man, just turned 18, interested in getting his not his 401k, but his IRA set up. And last time we spoke with you, Brian, that's what you were doing. So good to see you. Appreciate you coming by. All right. Well, quite the day. So let's get first of all, let's go over my current positions, starting off with the S&P, the overnight S&P trade. So in case we have some new viewers today, I do want to let them know that I do buy the SPY every single day at the end of the day, and I sell it first thing the next morning, regardless of the technicals. And why would I do such a crazy thing? Well, I base it upon a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. This back test goes all the way back to 1993, and with this back test, they tested two options. The first option was buying the SPY at the open each day and selling it at the close. So buy the open, sell the close every day. If you did this every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return. However, if you do what I do and buy the SPY at the close every day, sell it first thing the next morning, every day since 1993, you would have had a positive 634.2% return. So pretty significant difference of when you buy it and when you sell it. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Of course, we know that. That goes for any trading approach. But what I like about this approach, and specifically about this chart, it shows that if you have an edge, which so far this approach definitely does, what it can look like over time. If you can stay in the game, rinse and repeat, do your trade every single day, over time, you can see what the equity curves looks like. It's not straight up. It has ups and downs just like anything else, but it's far superior than buying the open and selling the close, which actually had a negative return. So with that being said, you would expect a huge gain out of this today, right? Actually, I believe this is my largest loss on the S&P overnight trade ever. I'm pretty sure, maybe close, but I did buy it Friday at 328.77 and sold it today at 322.05 for a staggering 1.74% loss, which is a lot on the index. So, this happens. With this approach, you're taking on risk overnight, and a lot of the time, most of the time, you get rewarded for that risk. But this was one of those risks that I did not get rewarded for. So, it's 1.75. That's kind of an average loss on a regular stock. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it is a little shocking in that, there was this kind of dip overnight. So we have bounced off of that, which is positive, but I will be buying this again today at the end of the day and sell it first thing tomorrow morning, because that is the approach, and this is my everyday trade. So we'll see. I just showed you that chart with the ups and downs. Well, we've had a little bit of down in 2020 so far. 2019 was really great, had a great return. Last couple weeks or so, it's been kind of up and kind of down and kind of up and kind of down. But yeah, got hammered on this one today. But that's why it's important, everybody. Your position size is so important. It's not like I buy 100% of my account on this, right? I just bought 10% of my account. So anyway, we'll be buying this again today at the end of the day. Mount Doji says PTON and RST are the only ones that caught my eye. Okay, I'm going to take a look at those in a sec. Brian says, got into drop shipping lately, but yeah, I got my account up. Good for you, Brian. Andrea, hey, good to see you. Andrea says, hi, everyone. Sorry to see the overnight SPY today. Emotionally, it's fear-inducing. Yes, it is, but you're having a good day with your TLT, and I'm going to go over that in a second. All right, next trade. All right, well, this one was a little more positive. So I did buy the VIX back on the 21st of January. I bought it when we went under 30, over 30, under the third ATR channel, over the third ATR channel, and a V1. Here's day one, day two washes out, day one closes above day one's close. And this one took off for me pretty big on Friday, and you can see today, big move up. 8.21%. So that really definitely washes out, takes care of the a lot of the SPY loss. Unfortunately, my approach, I only took 0.25% down here. I wish I would have taken 10%, but this is a big, the VIX is a big volatility mover, so I scaled back. But still, glad to have it. Glad to make some money here and help mitigate some of the losses on the S&P. You can see I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 profit targets today, and I had some positive slippage. I didn't fill here, here, and here. I filled all of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them there, and then I hit one a little higher. So I am out of shares. I am completely out of shares on the VIX from entry to exit in 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 14.35%. So this was my ultimate profit target up here, basically phased out of everything. So I am flat on VIX, but I'm very, very happy that I had this to help mitigate. And that's it. I'm actually quite grateful today that I only had 2 positions, the SPY and the VIX, and the VIX was up and the SPY was down. So I feel very grateful to only have that light position on a big day like today. So, all right, let me go over here. So these are some of your trades that you've been kind enough to share with me. Joe Turner did buy GILD back here on the 21st of January. We almost bounced right off of that negative third ATR channel. He bought it here at 62.59. It's moved up and moved up. Friday was down and back up today. So nice positive trade for Joe. Congratulations. Looks like it did have some problems with the 200-day moving average. So I don't know if Joe is on today, but if he is, keep me keep me updated on what you're going to do with this trade. All right, Mansolo did buy UI back here on the 23rd. Was a V1. Here's day one, day two washes out day one, closes above day one. We went under 30, over 30. Friday moved really nicely. I'm not sure if he phased out of any or not, but now he's just slightly underwater. I would imagine, well, it's hard for me to say, and I'm not sure he's listening today, but this could, you could approach this stop either way. You could just get out with the close below the previous day's low, or he might just be waiting for a 30. So I'm not sure there, but not too bad. Okay, Glenn Dem 2 did buy gold on Friday back here at 147.02, and he's having a great day. So congratulations. Congratulations, Glenn. Andrea, I forgot where Andrea bought this. It was so far down that I couldn't even see my chart. She bought it way down there. I imagine somewhere down in here maybe, or was it 114? I can't remember, but she's having a great day. Congratulations. Congratulations, Andrea. Oh, okay. Let's see. DK. So Bing He bought this. Looked like a good setup on Friday. V1, under 30, over 30. Rejection of the negative third ATR channel. Everything you could possibly want, but this one definitely down today. I imagine Bing He will be getting out of that. And then Jesse did let me know he bought IIPR Friday here at 80.70. We have this V1. Here's day one. Here's day two. Day two washes out day one, closes above. Close back above the 50 RSI, and this one has moved really nice for him. So glad to see almost up 5% on the day. So, okay. Hey, man, Solo, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Out of UI with a small loss. All right. That's good. Remember now, having small losses is totally fine and acceptable if you want to be a profitable trader. Large wins, small wins, break even trades, small losses, all acceptable to make you a profitable trader. You just have to stay away from big losses. And man, Solo, I got emergency stopped out. Oh, yeah, okay. Frank, how you doing, buddy? Kobe Bryant once wore a t-shirt that read, "Hurt or be hunted. For stocks in our game, we hunt with charts and profit. We hunt with charts and profits are our target." Stoic, steadfast and defiant. Think of that shirt on the great Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant once wore a t-shirt that read, "Hunt or be hunted. For stock is our game. We hunt with charts and profits are our target." Stoic, steadfast, and defiant. Think of that shirt on the great Kobe Bryant. Oh, wow, that's good, Frank. Hey, Frank, you weren't here on Friday, and Joe subbed for poems. He came in and he wrote, here, I'm gonna post this here. This is a poem about Frank. So here you go, Frank. Look at that. Joe Turner, I miss my Pepsi and I miss my beer. We miss our poem because Frank's not here. How's that? Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Andrea bought it at 115. Holy smokes. So she bought it down 115, somewhere about here. So this is a bit of a position trade. So she is up about 20% on this trade. So proud of you. So proud of you, Andrea. Bing He, hey buddy, how you doing? Yeah, sorry about your DK today. Darn it. All right. Well, listen, this is the time of the day that I do like to talk about. This is about trader psychology. You know, interesting, Frank, you were just talking about Kobe Bryant. I mean, what a shock yesterday to hear that Kobe and his daughter and all the other people in that chopper went down. I was very sad. Really was a shock. I'm not a huge Laker fan, but I am a big basketball fan, and I've seen Kobe Bryant play many times, and just sad, but you know, undeniably that he was a competitor and he worked hard and he was disciplined. So kind of in honor of Kobe Bryant here, I did want to share this today. This is from Ankush Baha at Ankush Baha 111. He's on Twitter. He has good information. He has a good Twitter channel. He posts really nice things, and I would suggest that you subscribe to him and read his posts. I think they're really helpful. But like I said, talking about Kobe Bryant, but like I said, he's a competitor. He's achieved awesome things, just amazing things in life and sports, so forth. But Kobe Bryant says, if you're afraid to fail, then you're probably going to fail. Okay, makes sense, right? If you're afraid to fail, then you're probably going to fail. So why am I even bringing this up in regards to trading? So this is how I tie this in. And what Kobe Bryant says, I believe, is completely true. If you're afraid to fail, you're probably going to fail. And as far as trading goes, if you're afraid of your trade, it's going to affect the way you it's going to affect the way that you play that trade out. And if it moves up just a little bit and you make money, you want to get out. If it moves down, you get scared, you want to get out. So, as far as what Kobe says here, my best advice to not being afraid is to position size conservatively. You don't have to use a 10% position size. You can use a 5% position size. Find yourself a position size where you're not sweating the trade. If you're not sweating the trade, if it's not giving you a lot of emotions, then you are 100 times more likely to follow your plan. And so, if 10% position size for you is causing you issues, causing you not to sleep, go to a 5% position size. If that's still too high, go to a 2.5% position size. You want to get to the point, you want to get to the position size where you are not scared, right? And if you are not scared, then you're going to follow your plan. And I promise you, if you can follow your plan, you're going to be a more successful trader. But it's a function, like Kobe Bryant says, of being afraid. And in trading, you are afraid if your position size is too high, and then you're not going to follow your plan. So anyway, just want to pay a little tribute there to Kobe. And I think there's wise words from Kobe. But again, if you're scared of every trade, you're probably positioning too high, right? You want to get to the point where you're comfortable and acclimated with your wins and your losses. And when you get acclimated to, okay, if I take $100 loss, I'm okay, right? You take the $100 loss. After a while, you're going to get acclimated to that, and then you maybe can bump it up to 150, and you're still calm with 150, and you can move it up to 200 and so forth, right? So anyway, going to miss Kobe Bryant, and just really sad, and wish the best to his family. I can't even imagine his wife and the remaining sisters and everybody's family. It's just super sad, but thanks for all the good times there, Kobe, and thank you for this good saying in regards to trading. Okay. Frank says Joe's the best. He says, bad day for my DK. We'll need to cut loss. Yes, I agree. TGT moving up. Hey, AJ. Oh, yes, it is. Not too bad. We have one of the green triangles here. The previous day had a high. Friday we went above, closed below. That's a V1 to the bearish to the downside, and now we've reversed it back up. I don't think me personally I would be buying this here, but not bad. Not bad for sure. Good to see you, JT. Murat says, hi, Greg. It was a bumpy start to the new week. At midnight, I just saw that my stop loss on oil was activated. It simply dived, waited 15 minutes, doubled the size, went against the move. Aha. So it simply dived, waited 15 minutes, doubled the size, went against the move. I covered the loss and went 5% plus. Okay, good. Then closed all my positions, went to bed at 2 a.m. As market dived during the morning, I saw that it was about to turn, went long 2 contracts, and closed it at 4 p.m. Overall, the day started with a big loss and closed with quite a good profits. Congrats, Murat. Very glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. And thanks for coming today, by the way. Hi, Joe. Good to see you, buddy. I just shared your yesterday's poem. It was good, huh? Joe Turner, I miss my Pepsi and I miss my beer. We miss our poem because Frank's not here. That's good stuff. Hey, Christopher, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a nice evening. Joe Turner, thanks, Frank. All right. Guys, I gotta let Katie out. Sorry, give me 20 seconds. She's giving me that look, and I can't think with her Jedi mind trick looking at me like that. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. She hears me start talking about stocks, and she's like, okay, time to get out. Time wants out. Okay. Well, let's get to it and go down through the stocks and see if there's anything today. I know there are a couple possible setups today, so, I've been waiting for this pullback here for a long time. And like most of the time, it does come if you're patient and you wait. Just real quickly, this is the 1 ATR channel. Here's the negative 1 ATR channel. I really don't like to buy above the 1 ATR channel. Anything above the 1 ATR channel, I consider overvalued. Anything between the two green lines, I consider in value. Anything under the negative 1 ATR channel, I consider undervalue. I want to buy minimum at value, at worst at value, and at best undervalue. So I've been waiting for a long time for the price to come back into the value zone, and today we have got it. And it just goes to show you, buying back here above value, everything looks good. The headlines are good, but I think all in all, you're much better waiting for a pullback to value. So we have a pullback to value here. We have earnings on Apple tomorrow, which should be interesting. Of course, I cannot buy in front of earnings. But now that we're back in the value zone, I'd like to see this move sideways and then look for a V1 or a V2 entry. So we are back in value, finally, down $9 today, 2.83. That's a big move. That's the biggest move I've seen down on Apple for a long time. Adobe gapped way down right into the value zone, reverse back up. This is still too high. I need to come it into the value zone, move sideways here. Amazon is a potential for me today, and I'll tell you why. I prefer when it closes under the 200 and back over, but we had this big, huge bar back here on the 26th of December. When I have a bar that's larger than 1 ATR, in my opinion and in my experience, when you have a big move up larger than 1 ATR, you should have some support at the 50% mark. So here's about the 50% mark on that. You extend it out into the future, and it dovetails right with the 200-day. So if this does close over the 200-day, I would consider buying this because of the support at the halfway of the large bar back here and the under over on the 200. But right now, as we're looking at it, it is under the 200 days. So I will be looking at that, and my stop would be a close under the 200 days. So that is possible. Boeing, nothing really here on Boeing. We closed under the 1 ATR channel. I'm waiting for this to move back up into the value zone, have a little bit of a sell-off, and then look for a higher low V1 or V2. Berkshire Hathaway, again, I was waiting for it to come back into the value zone. It did come back into the value zone on Friday, and now we have lost the value zone big time. If you remember me discussing this on Friday, whenever you have a large down bar, larger than 1 ATR, into the value zone, you usually at least test the bottom of the negative 1 ATR channel or more, and this is exactly what happens. So for me to get interested in Berkshire here, I would need to move back up into the value zone, pull back, higher low V1, or if it continues down, a low RSI, deep dip buy right down here at the 100-day in the confluence with the 30 RSI would look pretty good as well, but nothing yet on Berkshire. But again, it just goes to show you that buying up in these levels, even though everything seems great, is very dangerous because it most often always pulls back, and it did this time as well. Beyond Meat up today, unbelievable. I know Steve Burns had a nice trade here with the 5 EMA crossing over the 20. He had a 38% return on this one trade in 5 days. Unbelievable trade. It's kind of just chopped and chopped and chopped and moved sideways, but it is up today, which is pretty impressive, actually. But nothing here I need to pull back into value. Caterpillar early on looked interesting when it went under the 100, over the 100, under the 30, over the 30, but now it has lost both of them. Even if it closed over the 30, I would not buy it here because I still have the 100-day above me. So nothing there, although, you know, in case we have a rally in the end of the day. Dow Jones, I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for a dip. Well, much better to buy a dip off the 50-day moving average than up here, obviously. And again, here we have a bar that's larger than 1 ATR that comes into the value zone. And again, majority of the time, in my experience, when I see this happen, you at least go to the lower band or lower. So I'm not going to buy this dip off the 50-day moving average. I want to see this move into the value zone. Couple days pullback at minimum, and then a higher low V1 or V2. Disney, I've been very patient waiting for Disney here. I'm surprised that we lost the 30 RSI, and I'm surprised we lost the 200 days. So I definitely want to buy Disney, but not yet. At the very least, I have to wait for this to at least close above the 200 day and above the 30 RSI. Etsy had this huge move up. Don't want to buy up these levels. They don't give a good risk to reward ratio. Definitely better to wait till you're inside the value zone. We were inside the value zone. Now we're a little high. Nothing really quite for me. I need this to close in the value zone for a few days, move sideways, look for a V1 or a V2. Facebook, another example of a larger than 1 ATR bar coming into the value zone, which majority of time in my experience will at least tag the negative 1 ATR channel. It's exactly what happened. So I've been waiting for it to come in the value zone. It is in the value zone. Does that mean I can buy it now? No. That's just one requirement. You have to make a higher high. Next requirement, you have to come into the value zone. Next requirement, you have to go sideways. Next requirement, you have to have a V1 or a V2. So we're getting there. We're getting closer, but not a setup there yet. Gold, Glenn had a nice trade on gold today. I'm waiting for the 5 EMA to cross under the 20 EMA and then back over. That's a good back-tested approach, moving average crossover approach. Or if we could move back down in the value zone, find some support, find some consolidation, have a V1, V2. I did take gold back here, back in December when the 5 EMA crossed over the 20, and you can see that was a really nice trade. But that's what I'm looking for now, again, is the 5 to cross under the 20 and back over. Google had this huge move up, huge gap down today, but we are back in the value zone. I'm telling you, it comes back down there. Better than buying up here, right? I've been very tentative on my purchases in the last couple of weeks. I think you all know that, and you've all seen that, because the prices have been up here and they just didn't offer a good risk to reward ratio. If you remember, I talked about prices moving up, but with the stairs and coming down by the elevator. That's why I did not want to get involved. I was scared of something like this happening, and this is exactly what happened. So Google, now that we're in the value zone, if we could hold some support, look for a V1, V2. Goldman Sachs, above value, into value, holding in value, need some sideways movement, V1, V2. Home Depot would need this to come back into the value zone. A nice correlation of the 50-day moving average, the negative 1 ATR channel, and V1, V2 down here would be a pretty sweet spot. IBB, nothing there. I would be looking for a 30 RSI dip on IBB, maybe down in here at the 100 would offer a good risk to reward. Intel, big gap up on earnings. You know, I've discussed this before, but if you have a gap down or a gap up and you close the gap within 3 days after the gap, so here's the gap, within the next 3 days, if the price of the next 3 days bars goes below the low of the gap up day, that's a bit of a bearish signal. So it doesn't mean I'm going to short this here, but this is a bit bearish. Russell 2000, look at that. Tagged the third ATR channel, came into the value zone, went underneath the value zone, back over. Nothing quite I can get involved with that now. Johnson & Johnson, nothing really there. CarMax had this huge run up. You know, I would need this to come back into the value zone for me to get interested. Coca-Cola, been very, very strong. You know, last week I mentioned how many of the consumer defensive stocks were strong, and Coca-Cola was definitely one of them. So looking for a pullback into value. Lockheed Martin, holding pretty strong. Looking for a pullback. We have earnings coming up. MasterCard was just strong, strong, strong. Finally moving its way back down into the value zone. So this might give us a setup here in the next little bit. McDonald's, I'd like to see it come back down in the value zone right here around the 200-day would be excellent, but nothing today. All right, Merck, let me take a look here. Merck looks somewhat interesting today. We did go under the 30. Looks like right now we're over the 30. We went under the 100-day, over the 100-day, and a V1. So this does offer a pretty good risk to reward ratio here. If I took this trade, I would get out. I would get out with a close under the 30 RSI. So this looks fairly interesting. This could be a possibility. Microsoft, well, way above the value zone, but as usual, came back into the value zone. Just wasn't a great idea to buy up here. So look, if this could go sideways, look for a V1, V2. That's what I'd be interested in. Netflix needed to come back into the value zone, move sideways. Oh, geez. Nike was way above the value zone, tagged the third ATR channel. 90% of prices fail there, came back into the value zone. Now we've lost the value zone. So in order for me to get interested, a deep dip buy to 30 RSI down here, or a move back into the value zone, a little bit of some profit taking with the day or two pullback, and then a higher low V1. Philip Morris, again, above the value zone. We came from outside the value zone, inside the value zone, bar larger than 1 ATR. In my experience, majority of the time, you will at least tag the -1 ATR channel, which is exactly what happened. But now, even though we came into value, we've lost value. So I'm looking for a return to value and then a higher low V1, V2. PayPal, back in the value zone, nothing there. The Qs, well, definitely back in the value zone. That's what I want to see. Now, if I can just get that to move sideways for a little bit, V1, V2, that's where I'd be looking. That's where I'd be interested. Silver up today, kind of a bearish reversal bar, gapped open, closed lower. Nothing here. I'm waiting for the 5 EMA to cross under the 20. S&P 500, of course, took the wallop on the overnight SPY trade here. But I will be buying this again at the end of the day. Bonds, Andreas had a beautiful trade on that. Congratulations, my friend. That's one of the bigger trades I've seen. Tesla, waiting for a pullback into the value zone. Twitter was above the value zone, into the value zone. This is good. Now I need some sideways movement, V1, V2. So nothing there yet. UNH, nothing there. I'd be looking for a dip by 30 RSI. Oil has gone parabolic to the downside, down 2.63%. So at the very least, I'd have to wait for an over 30, under 30. VIX, of course, this was the saving grace today. Up big, up 9%. I did phase out all of it, and I am out of the trade. But that was, like I said, that was close to was it 15% or 13% from entry? 15.8. So very glad. I've had a couple 15%ers on the VIX, so was fortunate enough to get this one and be out of it today. Verizon was above the 1 ATR channel, into the ATR channel, sideways movement is what I'm looking for. Walmart, look at that V1. Couple things going on here. Here was the previous range, low of the range. We gapped down, reversed back up. It's a false breakout to the downside. We went and a nice V1. Day 1, day 2. Day 2 washes out. Day 1 closes above. So this is a potential at the end of the day as well. Energy has gone parabolic. It went parabolic on Friday when it closed below the 30 RSI. Now it's much lower. That's why you have to be careful about shorting things over the 70 RSI or buying things under the 30 RSI, because they can really go parabolic against you. You know, there's some traders that will not short anything unless it's under the 30 RSI. There's some people that will not buy anything unless it's over the 70 RSI. So you know, kind of caution to everybody in keeping a stock if it's under a 30 RSI. That's why I always get out if the stock is under 30 RSI and wait for it to come back over. Financials, nothing there. Real estate holding up definitely well. I'd look for a pullback into the value zone. Utilities, pretty much flat today. Nothing there. I did take this trade here when we came back into the value zone, and I got triggered with this triangle here. 2 days before we had a high, next day we went higher, closed lower. That is a bearish signal. But the next day, right after that, we went from immediate bearish signal to immediate bullish signal. That's why I bought it here. And I rode that baby all the way up and got out of that. I think it was on Friday. And healthcare, nothing there. So, a few things to look at here. Looks like Amazon at this point is off the table under the 200-day. Caterpillar under the 30 RSI and the 100, so that seems off the table. Merck seems pretty decent here, under 30, over 30, V1, rejection of the 100-day moving average, and the confluence of the 30-day RSI at the same time here at the 100-day. That is a great confluence. So to me, it looks like either between Merck and Walmart. Let's take a look at Walmart on the weekly. Well, on the weekly, it's a nice V1 on the week as well. And I should say the relative strength of this stock is strong today. It's up 1.31% on a day when the Dow is down 413 points. So, and the same with Merck. Merck is up as well. So those are the two that I'm going to be looking at. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you. Appreciate you coming, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Always excited to have you here. Always an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much, Steve. Okay, so Mount Doji wanted me to take a look. Okay, let's look at Mount Doji's. Well, the relative strength is good. We were above the 1 ATR channel. We came back down. We came back down. And then we had a V1 on Friday. But remember, Mount Doji, like I think Mount Doji always thinks I'm picking on him, but I'm not. But what I want to see it move sideways. See, it went down, and then you had the V1, which is fine. I mean, it's up on the day, which is good, but if you go up and then down without any sideways movement, and then you have a V1 right back up, a lot of the times you might get a day or two out of it, but then it fails, makes a lower high. Ones that come into the value zone, move sideways for at least a couple days, those are the ones that can tend to hold and make a higher high. But I mean, not too bad at all. You know, this is one of those situations. I talk about the green bar with the high making a higher high and then reversing and the next day going higher. Well, look at this. We had a V1 to the upside, which is positive. It painted a red bar because earlier in the day we went back below that and then reversed. This looks fairly positive. I'm not going to buy this here, but that does look fairly positive. and then RST. Well, it is a V1 from Friday's bar, but Friday's bar was larger than 1 ATR. It did make a lower high, but it did wash out the previous low, so that's all okay. It's okay. It's okay, Mount Doji. Let's look at the week. Yeah, I mean, we're consolidating, moving sideways. Does it give you a good risk to reward ratio? I think so. Halfway of the washout bar, which is today. My only concern is that Friday's bar was larger than 1 ATR, but on the other hand, I do like the green triangle being painted here because Thursday we had a high, Friday we went above it and reversed below it. That's negative, but today we turned a negative trade into a positive trade. This is very similar to what I bought XLU on, so that looks pretty good as well, Mount Doji. Let's see. Andrew says, what do you think of the coronavirus and impact on global commerce markets? Will it get worse as the day goes by? Boy, that's hard to say, Andrea. I mean, my concern is even if the virus didn't spread anymore, that we would still have some remnants of the virus from people where it had not expressed itself. So, I mean, I definitely think the numbers are going to go up. And, in this market right now with all the headline risk, people are very emotional about it. So I guess the better question, at least for me, would be, do I think the cases are going to go up? Yeah, I do. I just think they're going to because the virus hasn't expressed itself because of the incubation period. And, every time people see the headline that's with numbers growing, I think that's a fear. Murat says, JT, I made long short game up to 1.2 million. Oh, awesome. I like that game. Andrea, Murat, wow, you have a good eye for the charts. He definitely does. Murat went up to 200,000, then back to 6,000, then 500,000, lost 200,000, and from 300,000 to 1.2 million. Wow, what a ride. Murat says, I did exactly how I trade oil on spot market, and it worked fantastic. I did just do RST and PTON. Mount Doji, if you saw that. But I mean, RST, it's not bad. It's a V1. You have the green triangle here, the negative trade reversed. It's up on a down day. So I think it makes sense if you're interested in taking that. And Peloton is up as well. So that is impressive as well. The only thing with this one is there's no sideways movement. Brian says, I'm afraid the coronavirus might affect my store because the fear my customers might have since products from China. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I hope it doesn't though, Brian. Steve Burns says, the bull market caught a virus today. Yes, it did. It caught the coronavirus. JT says Amazon earnings on the 30th. Yep, definitely saw that. So, I don't mind taking a trade on Amazon if I have a few days to earnings, but I just can't hold through earnings. But it doesn't look like Amazon's setting up enough for me at this moment. All right, Binghe exited DK. Yeah, that one was a stinker, but we're having a big pullback in the market, so a lot of issues. Hey, Zach, good to see you. Good afternoon. Late getting in, but good to hear you today, Greg. Thank you, Zach. Nice having you here. Good to see you. Andrea, Murat, how do you trade oil on spot oil market? Murat, you're going to have to answer that one for Andrea if you can. Mount Doji, I know you're not picking on me. I'm not, Mount Doji. No, I'm just trying to give you my honest opinion. Murat says, Andrea, if I see a setup every day, I can do it every day, usually 1 or 2 trades per day. I couldn't trade 15 days in a row since I didn't see anything I could trade. Ramble Ron is back. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, Ramble. We've missed Ramble. It's been a while since I've seen you. Ramble was one of my first kind of initial viewers. So Advanced Micro Devices, with a lot of trades, we're above the value zone. Don't want to buy up here. I want to at least buy in value. So now we're in value. We're in value, but we do have earnings coming up. This is going to be a tough week, guys. I mean, we have a lot of volatility. We have a lot of earnings. I would be careful. And volatility has picked up so much. If you normally trade a 10% position size, nothing wrong with cutting it back to 5%. Nothing wrong at all. I do it on the VIX all the time, right? Instead of a 10%, I take a 0.25% because, it has such outside moves and there's so much volatility. So nothing wrong at all when volatility starts picking up like this, cutting your position in half or into a quarter. Nothing wrong with that at all. So yeah, I know Ramble has liked AMD for a long time, and it's done really well. Has earnings tomorrow, so no signal for me today, and it has earnings. Murat says, today I took 4 trades, for example, 2 long right at the open and midnight, 2 long positions in the morning. Both were closed in 3-4 hours. Greg, what do you think of TPC? Well, it looks like it's a V2. Here's day 1, here's day 2, here's day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. It's holding the negative third ATR channel, which is good being he, but it's not above the 30 RSI. So me personally, I would not get involved with this unless it was over the 30 RSI. Let's look at the weekly. I mean, it's up today. That's very, very positive, but just giving you my opinion. Yes, it has a V2. Yes, it rejected the negative third ATR channel. This is positive. But if I were going to take this trade, at the minimum, I'd have to have it close above the 30 RSI. Hope that helps, Bing He. Murat says, these days are a bit unusual. The market is turning up and down in an instant, so I don't want to keep any position too long. I agree. GS for Amon Solo. Well, we don't quite have a V1. How are we doing on time? All right. So let's break down the positives and the negatives. The positives is that the positive points are that we rejected the 200, came back up. That's positive. We broke down to a new low into a new range and reversed back up. So we have an under 200, over 200. We have a false breakout to the downside. We went below this low, this previous range, and closed back up. We very close to having a V1, that is for sure, but not quite there yet. It didn't go under 30, over 30. It's back in the value zone. This is good. It's not bad. It's definitely holding its own today as well. Let's look at the weekly. Definitely consolidating slightly to the downside. Looks like the weekly is having a V1 as well. MACD is positive. Some volume came in today. Not bad. I mean, you just have to definitely, pick your stop. My stop would either be halfway of this washout bar if you wanted to keep it tighter, or if you wanted to give it a little bit more room to close under the 200-day moving average. Mansolo says, I also like CARA and TGT, but feel gun shy. So yeah, CSGS, not bad. I mean, day 1's bar is a little larger than 1 ATR. It rejected the 10-day. I think it's kind of neutral, to be honest with you. CARA above the 1 ATR channel into the value zone, sideways, sideways. Not bad. Not bad. It's up positive on the day. I would get out if I rejected the 50 RSI above or close below halfway if you like that. And TGT. You gotta like that it's up on a, you gotta like that. I probably like Target the best just because it's a well-known name. Listen, when the market has a big sell-off like this, I always tell people, I would suggest stick with the big names that you know. You're buying, you can buy the best companies at a bit of a discount, you know, compared to some companies that you may not even know what they do. So anyway, Amad Solo, let me know what you decide to do, okay? And everyone, if anyone takes trades today, please let me know and I'll put them up on the board. All right, so I better turn my attention to, okay, so I'm out of VIX. Look at this trade. So glad. So glad. Helps counterbalance that SPY trade. So I feel pretty lucky on a day like today to get out how I have. So, Amount Solo says CSGS just retreated. CSGS, man, I have a hard time. Yeah, it did retreat. Now we're down 434 points. Wow. All right, so what were my possibilities today? Amazon definitely does not look like it's going to be. Unless it closes above 1833.47. $18.33.47. So, I mean, it's possible, and it's going to be close. So, Caterpillar, no cigar on Caterpillar. Merck, I do like Merck. I like the under 30, over 30, under the 100, over the 100, the confluence of the under 30 and over 30 with the 100, and the V1, and it's up today. So I do like Merck, and let's take a look at Walmart on the down, down, down. So every week has gone down. So it looks like Target and Walmart are both up today. Me personally, I think I'm gonna stick with Merck. Walmart definitely is going to have more exposure to China. Okay, so we have 1 minute. All right, so I'm going to buy SPY at the close, and I'm going to buy Merck at the close. And that's the plan. Pretty simple. And I'm out of VIX. Man, look at VIX go. Holy smokes. Steve says, great VIX trade. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. I've been fortunate on some of those VIX trades for sure. There we go. There we go. Okay, well, let's see what happened where I got filled. So I bought the SPY at 323.50. It just seems to me it was like a 333 a day ago. And Merck at 86.10. All right, so a lot of buying into VIX at the end of the day. Woo. All right, thank you, VIX. Thank you so much for that trade. I wish I believed in you and went more than a quarter percent or 2.5% instead of 10%, but that's okay. I'm definitely still happy with that. S&P bought that today. That was horrible. That could have been my worst overnight S&P trade ever. But again, if you position size correctly, it's not going to affect you as much. And so I did buy, 322.50, not 05. That looks better. And then Merck, 86.10. Oh, right where it is. Okay. So my stop on Merck is going to be a close under the 30 RSI, and then of course the S&P is just going to be a overnight SPY trade. I'll sell it first thing tomorrow. All right. The Man Solo says, I'm going to let the market shake out before taking on anything this week. I think it's probably a good way to go, Man Solo. Are you out of the country? I know last time you were flying over the Atlantic when you checked in, so thank you for doing that, making the effort to do that. Are you still out of the country? We still have some lessons to go, Man Solo. Don't forget those. Christopher says, is MRK Merck & Company? Yes, sir, it is, Christopher. That's one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. Merck, blue chip. I should have pointed this out, but using triple screen, which is a way that Dr. Alexander Elder likes to look at stocks. He likes to look at stocks in 3 time frames. And I look at stocks in 3 time frames: on the monthly, weekly, and the daily. On the monthly, we are definitely in an uptrend. On the monthly, if you're an uptrend, you want to see a pullback, but not too far of a pullback on the weekly. Well, right here in the thick of the value zone, that's perfect. So if the monthly is in a clear uptrend, the weekly has pulled back into the value zone, then you look for the entry on the daily. Well, here's the trigger. Do I know it's going to go up tomorrow because all this is set up? No, of course I have no idea. It's just like playing a slot machine, right? Put your dollar in, pull the handle, something's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen, right? But the setup's there. Monthly, long-term uptrend. Weekly, pulled back to value, which is what I want to see. Then I want to see a resumption of the uptrend on the daily, and that's the trigger. The under 30 over 30, the under the 100 over the 100. The V1 today of yesterday's low. Day 1, day 2 washes out, day 1 closes above. So do I know it's going to go up? No, I don't. It was up today. I'm definitely happy with that, but if I get a close below 30, I'll get out, and if it moves up, then it gives me a better risk reward than 1-to-1. Oh, Mount Doji got into PTON. Okay. Let's get Mount Doji on the board. 31.12. All right. Well, I like to see that that's up on a down day. Definitely for sure. So good, Mount Doji. Good luck with that, buddy. I'll be rooting for you. Christopher says, I am heading to New York tomorrow, then on to Tennessee. Oh, fantastic. Well, I hope you have a good time here in America, Christopher. Are you here on business or pleasure? So listen, if anybody has any other questions, please let me know. Just real quick, I want to put in my quick little daily plug. Hope it's okay with you, but I do want to let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I do have a course. It's 5 sessions. Each session is between 2 and 3 hours. It's pretty intensive. I teach you everything I've learned over the last 24 years as a full-time trader. I teach you everything I've learned from all my coaches and mentors over the years, like Dr. Alexander Elder and Steve Burns and Kerry Lavorne, things that I've developed as well. And it is $1,000. Probably seems like a lot of money. I completely understand that, but I think what you're going to learn in this course is really going to make a difference in your trading. And I definitely think you're going to get that money back either from avoiding losses or from having good trades. So, if you're interested, please let me know. I do like to have a free Skype call with a potential student, before anyone commits to the lessons. I just like to learn more about you, more about your trading approach, your challenges, your goals, and then I'll put together a trading plan that encompasses all of those from what you've told me. So, I think one of the major parts I always talk about is having a plan. My experience, people know a lot about the market, but they don't actually have a real plan. And so that's what I try to help you do, is put together an actual, real, concrete plan based upon what you tell me as far as how you like to trade and when you're available to trade and so forth and so on. So if you're interested in setting up that free Skype call with me in the evening, like I say, it's free. There's no obligation. You can just reach me via Twitter. You can send me a message there, or you can send me an email. The email's in the description of this video. So that's that. And also, if you like today's podcast, if you're learning something, if this channel is helping you, if you're finding value in it in any way, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. It really does help promote the channel, get the channel out there. A lot of people need help with their trading. It negatively affects their financial life, their emotional life, their family life. And I think if I could get them here on a semi-regular basis, and if they listen to maybe a quarter or half of what I say, I definitely think it will help. And so if you hit the thumbs up button, it will help. It will definitely help promote the channel out there. So anyway, thanks for hanging through my little plugs. Appreciate it. Christopher says he's coming for business. Tennessee. Well, good. So I have Mount Doji down on the trade here on PTON. Jesse had a really nice trade, up over 5% from yesterday. Fantastic. He waited for it to pull back into the value zone, waited for a V1, waited till over 50 RSI. Beautiful trade, Jesse. Very proud of you, my friend. Andrea, of course, with the big bond trade, 70 RSI. So, you might, I don't know what your plan is, but you might want to consider maybe taking a little off, phasing a little off. You've had a huge trade. We're up at the 6 ATR channel. Very tough to get prices to go above the 6 ATR channel. Dr. Alexander actually has a trading methodology based strictly on things at the 6 ATR channel. He called it fading in extreme. If it gets down to the -6, he buys. If it gets near the +6, he generally shorts. So I'm not telling you what to do, Andrea, but please keep in mind that it is very tough to go above that 6 ATR channel. Your risk to reward starts diminishing, but who knows, maybe you have a longer term plan for it. And so anyway, just keep me posted, Andrea, on whether you're still in this, but you've been doing very, very well. Congratulations on a beautiful trade. Glenn, Dem2 had a really nice trade on gold here, up 0.68% today, so congratulations on that. And then Joe Turner, I still have him in this trade. Ramble says, take it easy, sir. It was nice to see you again. Thank you, Ramble. Nice to hear from you also. Hope you keep coming back. Hope everything's going well, my friend. Mansola says, folks, strongly recommend Greg's lesson. I learned a lot, and Greg is an incredibly patient teacher. Oh, thank you, Mansola. I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward, Aman Solo, to finishing our lessons. So we have a few more to go. When when the time's right, when you're available. Actually, I have lessons tonight with Kamal, so I'm looking forward to that as well. So I honestly do think if you do the one-on-one course with me, I really do think you're going to learn a lot. In a lot of trading seminars and channels like this, you hear the person putting on the lesson speak, but there's not a lot of feedback back and forth. But in the private lessons that I do, I ask a lot of questions. I put you on the spot. I have a lot of, all right, I'm on solo. What's positive about this trade? What's negative? What's the risk to reward ratio? What's your next trade? So you really have to listen to what I'm saying in order to, be able to answer the questions. But, it's 5 sessions. Each session is between 2 and 3 hours. So it's pretty intensive. And we do a lot of chart study and a lot of simulation, which I think is very important. Well, let's see. So the Dow closed down 453 points, the NASDAQ 175. Wow. Do want to show you, I really like eWhispers, Earnings Whispers. It's at Earnings Whispers on Twitter, but they do such a nice job of putting out this graphic every quarter when you have earnings. So today, after hours, F5 Networks, Whirlpool, Juniper, Crane, Ashland, Sprint had earnings this morning. Tomorrow's going to be a big day, though. Look at this. We have Apple in the afternoon. We have AMD. We have Starbucks, eBay. In the morning, we have SAP, Xerox, HCA, 3M, Pfizer, Martin Marietta. So big earnings day tomorrow, especially after the bell for tech. And then Wednesday, Boeing in the morning, GE, AT&T, McDonald's. In the afternoon, Tesla, Microsoft, Facebook, PayPal. Wow. And then Thursday in the morning, Coca-Cola, UPS, MO. Do you still have MO, Andrea? I can't remember. And then, of course, Amazon and Visa. So this is the big earnings week. So let's all be careful. And like I said before, now that we've had this volatility come into the market, volatility may have increased by twice. So if volatility went up 2 times, cutting your position size in half is the same. Do you see what I'm saying? So if volatility increases, cutting your position size in half still gives you the same volatility. So nothing ever wrong with reducing your position size and being more conservative when volatility goes up. Yeah, should be very interesting to see what happens with this virus. Like I said, I hope it's not spreading. I hope it's dying down. But even if it is dying down and not spreading as rapidly, there's still a lot of people that are in that incubation period where if they have it, they have it. It just hasn't expressed itself. And when it expresses itself and comes out, of course, there's going to be headlines and, things like a virus. It's a real psychological thing, right? People get really paranoid of it. You can't see it. You don't know. You assume the worst. So I think that's why we're seeing this fear come into the market. And boy, do I hope it goes away. I just feel so bad for all the people that have it, losing family members. I mean, oh man, I just hate that kind of stuff. Okay, all right. Well, if anybody has any other questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them for you. Let's see here. Thanks for that story about Kobe Bryant, Frank. For stocks is our game. We hunt with charts and profits our target. Stoic, steadfast, and defiant. Think of the shirt on the great Kobe Bryant. We hunt with charts and profits our target. Stoic, steadfast, and defiant. Think of the shirt on the great Kobe Bryant. It's good stuff, Frank. I'm going to post that if you don't mind. Joe, I miss my Pepsi. I miss my beer. We miss our pump because Frank's not here. So good. Bing, he says, I was thinking of getting in GMED, but did not. GMED. Well, I mean, there are some good things going on here. Here was the previous low, the low of the previous low. Today we went below that, rejected it, came back up. So we do have a false breakout to the downside. Looks like we went under 30, over 30. We had a V1 and a rejection of the negative third ATR channels. That one looks pretty good, actually. Let's look at this longer term. Monthly. Been moving up pretty nice, and then down weekly, down into the value zone, holding daily. Honestly, being out of all the ones you showed me today, I do like that one the best. I believe Apple's down $9 today, over $9. Oh, okay. I know Steve took Square, and it had been very resilient. It was actually up. I think he bought it here on the 23rd, right at the close, give or take. I don't know if that's exact price, Steve. Right there, but pretty close, I'm pretty sure. Friday was down, but it rallied nicely, so had a nice against the market move. Today it gapped down dramatically and reversed back up, but basically closed unchanged. But it's still a positive trade. So congratulations, Steve. Hey, Evan. Evan says, I've been in KDP since Wednesday, and it is about even. Thoughts on a possible time stop? Basically, I'm asking you, how would you handle if you were in the trade? All right, I can do that. KDP. So this was Friday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what? Me personally, Evan, I would probably still keep this trade because it's had such strong relative strength. It hasn't gone up much. I understand that, but in comparison to what the market's done over the last couple days, it has really held. MACD's positive now. We're above the 10-day EMA. Usually on a time a time stop for me, I base off V1s, V2s into the value zone. Well, you did get a V1, V2 here. Because this is held so strong, I would hold this thing. I would hold this thing until, one, you either hit your halfway stop there, or at least a close below the 10-day or a close below the previous day's low. But I too would be getting a little frustrated with this trade if the market had been going up and this stock had not, but the market's going down so strongly and it holding. I probably would just wait on this until it gave you a clear signal. Like if the market's going up and this isn't doing anything, that's a signal. But the market going down and it staying up to me is also a signal. So I would wait for a real signal, like a close below the 10-day or a close below the previous low. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, I would be concerned after a few days of holding in it, not doing anything. But the market's down so much and it's holding. So I feel like that's very strong, enough for me to kind of overlook it not doing anything for a couple days. So I would actually wait for something like, a thorough rejection of the 200-day moving average, or a close below the 10-day, or a close below the previous day's low. Other than that, I just like that it is holding strong here, basically a break even. Joe Turner says, stocks go down and we drown in our sorrow. Hold your head up. There's always tomorrow. Joe, it's good. You and Frank are the poets. It's so good. Stocks go down and we drown in our sorrow. Hold your head up. There's always tomorrow. That is true. That is true. And, if you've incurred some losses lately, don't sweat it. Don't let it, hurt your confidence. It happens. The most important thing I can suggest is if you've had a little bit of a drawdown lately, don't try to make it back by doubling up and tripling up. Just please don't do it. Just be patient. See if you have the skill to sit on your hands and not do anything. Christopher said, it's very bad. They estimate 90,000 people have the virus and the Chinese are playing it down. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to know who to believe, huh, Christopher? But 90,000 people, and if each person infects a few people, so forth and so on. I agree. I agree. I was just trying to look at the bright side, that even if it wasn't spreading as much, the people that still have it and expresses itself, the number is going to go up. But that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that all these people are infected and they infect more people. Andrea says, yes, I agree. I think it's going to grow exponentially. Well, I'll tell you what, Andrea, your bonds, that's what it's saying. That's what bonds are saying. People are rushing to bonds in a flight to safety. So, it's flashing warning signs here for sure. It's the one great thing about the market. There's always a lot of spin in politics and things like this. And, there's always a lot of spin, but there is no spin in the market. People may say one thing, but they're really going to bet their money on what they really believe, even if it's not expedient or politically correct or whatever. To see what I mean? That's the market has no spin. There are no lies. People really bet what they feel, and this is the market is showing that it is flashing warning signs here. Zach says, Greg, my question for the day was reading Steve's books last night, and he made reference to MACD a few times. Would you be able to explain that to me real fast? Yeah, so here's the MACD line right here. See the green line here and the red line? So the green line, the red line. Whenever the green line, the MACD is under the signal line, it means that you have diminishing momentum. Anytime the green line crosses over the red line, it's signifying positive momentum. And so if, and it's a mathematical formula, I really can't explain it right off the top of my head, but the difference between this MACD and this signal line, it just basically shows when you have momentum going in your favor or under. As soon as something crosses over, that's always a good sign. If I had two stocks with the exact same setup, and one of them had a MACD cross and the other was still, the green was still under the red, I would definitely always, 100% always take the trade where the MACD just crossed over. As a matter of fact, we were looking at a few of them earlier today. I can't remember which one, but you can see the cross of the MACD here was one indication. Now, I don't believe that just a MACD crossover by itself is enough. But if you have a V1, a V2, a false breakout at the downside, and cherry on top, you also get the MACD crossing over, that's also very positive. And then, of course, I use MACDs for double tops, double bottoms. Let me see if I can find a example. Well, you can see here Amazon, right? The green was above the red, meaning MACD was positive. Then it started losing momentum and crossed under. Well, that crossed under way over there, so that was a bearish signal. So anytime the MACD crosses over, look here, crossed over. Was that a good place to buy? Yes, it was. Did it cross under? Is that a good place to buy? Yes, it was. But like I said, I don't think it's strong enough just to use standalone, but in conjunction with other things. But essentially, it's a momentum indicator. Whenever the green line is over the red line, there's positive upward momentum. Whenever it starts to narrow, it means that price movement is going sideways, and when it crosses under, that means there's momentum to the downside. So, if you're looking at potential stock entries and one has a MACD crossover, just crossed over, or MACD is positive, I would always go with that one compared to the one that was negative. Does that make sense, Zach? I mean, if you want to get a complete technical explanation of what it is in the math, just type in what is MACD in Google, and of course it will give you that. But from a practical standpoint, it shows positive momentum to the upside. If I zoom out on this chart, see the MACD crossover here? That showed positive momentum. Did it go up from there? It did. So I can't remember what stock it was that we were talking about today that I said it had a MACD crossover. But MACD crossovers are always good. They're always good. Pick the stock that has a MACD crossover over the one that doesn't, all things being equal. Zach said, so would it be another indicator used for determining whether you'd like to get into or out of a trade? Yeah. I mean, it's not solely based upon getting in a trade or out of the trade, but a contributing factor. You hear me say cherry on top, like I have 2 indicators, 3 indicators that are lining up. Oh, look, and it also has a MACD crossover. So that's kind of the cherry on top. So like I said, if I have 2 exact setups, everything's the same. They both have a V1, they both did this, and they both did that, but one of them has a MACD crossover. I would always choose the one that had the MACD crossover, that was crossing over that day, or just was under a MACD crossover. Because it shows positive momentum. Does that help, Zach? All right. Well, listen, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming by today. It's nice to see you. Always look forward to seeing you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Just remember 2 quick things. 1, please go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or hold the door open. You really may positively influence that person's day like you have no idea. Just with the simplest little gesture, the simplest act of kindness, they may be on the verge of just completely losing faith in humanity, and you being nice and pleasant might just be what turns it around for them. So I always like to say that because I think it's very important. It's free, and we need more of that in our society. There's so much divisiveness or divisiveness, whichever word you want to use, but let's try to be a bright spot in somebody's day. And then second, again, on the way out, if you could hit the thumbs up button if you did find today's podcast helpful, I would appreciate it. So interesting times, volatility's come back in the market. Let's be careful out there. Not a bad idea to reduce your position size either, and maybe not take a ton of positions either. So I did have the 2 positions today. I took the new position on Merck, giving me a good risk to reward ratio. Do I think it's going to go up? No, I actually probably think it's going to go down. But maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But if it does go down, I'll get out real quick, right? And then SPY, of course, the overnight SPY trades. So anyway, thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Tiffany Saunders, unbelievable. Listen, can I tell you something? Tiffany Saunders, which I'm really surprised to see you here, Tiffany. Hold on one sec. Yes. All right. So listen, Tiffany Saunders is a friend of mine from a long time ago that I knew her from the gym, and I used to wear these clogs to the gym, like these Dutch clogs. I'm not sure why. My mom brought them back for me from Switzerland, I think. And so she always liked my clogs because she's Dutch. And just the other day, I was thinking about her. The other day, I thought, I wonder what happened to Tiffany. I remember she always liked my clogs. And then out of the blue, the next day, she says hi to me on Facebook. Haven't talked to her in 25 years. Isn't that something? And here she is on the live stream. Thank you, Tiff. Thank you so much. And I look forward to speaking with you maybe today, huh? All right, everybody. Have a nice day. Have a good rest of your day. Go out and do something nice, all right? And hit the thumbs up button if you don't mind on the way out. Okay, hopefully see you tomorrow. Take care now. Bye-bye.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.